Hello and welcome everyone to our September edition of the Power Collab community call here already. We have brought you a lot of topics again from the Power Platform, and I will start today with a topic. Whenever I introduce this to someone, everyone is like, oh, that's possible. Um, so it's about the timeline, and the timeline is not only available in Dynamics, but in all model-driven apps. So it's you activate it basically on entities that have activities enabled, and yeah, this is the timeline. And usually in the timeline you can only see activities, notes, and posts. But what you see here is a contact. And you, so I chose contact because it's right beside here. You see the contact as well. And contacts wouldn't usually be a fit for the timeline because there are no activity. But in the, so when you configure the timeline in Make Power Apps, here's the timeline component, and then you have a lot of options on the right side. Microsoft has a lot of documentation, and in advanced, I think it's called, yes, advanced, very far down here, you find something called custom connectors. And in this custom connector, you can specify a web resource and a constructor, so the class name basically, that shall be called. And then in this JavaScript, you implement functions that give back records, that render the card that you see on the form, and so on. And for example, the thing I'm currently working with is those filters. I've added here a filter for contacts now so that you can filter only those cards. And maybe you want to filter by gender, for example. Oh, I didn't hit it. Then you only see the female contacts of this account. I mean, yeah, okay, the sample here is not that great because why would you want to see contacts here? But with other things, like in sales organizations, I can imagine opportunities, for example, that sellers want to see this because this is important for them when, or leads maybe, when were things happening in this chronological and mixed order of the timeline, right? Where you also see emails and, for example, leads. And if you want to know more about this feature, just Google Timeline Custom Connector. You will find the official documentation and some blog posts by me. So the third one with the filters is coming soon. And the official documentation, I be honest with you, there is something about how you configure the timeline itself, but there's a lot of code you need to write and virtually no information. There are some samples, look them up, and also look at my website. So it's mariuswodke.de. You will find the timeline posts, and these link to a repository also called Timeline Custom Connectors, which will give you more samples to work with so that you can figure this well. Last word of warning. The simple samples I use here with the two filters and the contacts being shown already is around 300 lines of code. So this is more something if you are a pro code developer, yeah, not really low code. It's not like some other form scripts that you can do with 5 lines of JavaScript. No, that's more like hundreds of lines. Okay, so much for the timeline connectors. I think Milad also has something in store for us.
Yeah, thanks, Marius. So I'm going to talk about Power Platform catalogs, what that really means. Let me show you that. No, need to find the correct screen. Okay, I guess everybody can see my screen now. So welcome to my demo tenant again. So what I'm talking about is this little thing here, what you might have seen in the past weeks. It's under resources, you have capacity, and then you have catalogs. What is catalogs? Catalogs is basically a new feature where you can really provide templates, customizations, maybe even apps and flows to your end user, provided from a central point of content. So let me just click on here, and here what you can basically see, I have created one for the demo purpose, but let me create a second catalog to let you see how the setup is looking like. So you can basically give your catalog a name, let's say HR templates. You can select the language, you can give it a description. These are HR template apps, yeah, for multiple usage. Yeah, let's call it that way. And then we are coming to a very important point. These catalogs works only in the region you are creating them. So when I'm picking Germany, you can see that my environments, which I can select, are all German environments. If I pick United States, for example, you can see that I have a different set of environments which I can select. So let me take the Dev Sandbox environment, and let's see what we can do after this. We can configure or basically name some catalog administrators. You can here select an Azure AD group, for example. Let me take just this one. And these are the ones who can, for example, delete catalog items, etc. But what this means, this is what I will show you soon. Next thing is you can add approvers. So who's able to add some templates to that catalog. You can basically give them also the ability to let this auto approve so that nobody needs to approve it, but you can also name a group here. I don't know why groups and not why only groups and not just users, but yeah, maybe at the end it's sometimes easier to manage if you are using Azure AD groups or Entra AD groups in order to give this an approver in the background. So let me just take this group and go to the next one. Who can submit? You can also even specify the users who are submitting templates or catalog items. These are called catalog items. And as again, same procedure, you take one group and adding them as the submitters here. And then you have also the consumers. The consumers is kind of a strange thing because at the end, you can also use the catalogs in other environments without specifying any consumers here. So these are not needed to be the same ones, but of course you can also specify maybe if there's a change in the future to be on the safe side. Let's say all employees, if you haven't if you have templates which you really want to provide towards everybody or all your citizen developer. So again, let's take this group, and then you can give it also a category. Yeah, these are the predefined ones. You can also add categories by yourself. Yeah, to structure them a bit. Let's say, as I said, this is just the human resources catalog where all forms are being added. Then you need to agree to the terms and conditions, as we always do. Just click the checkbox and then create catalog. What happens in the background? So I will cancel it because I've done that already. In the background, when we are going to, now I need to check which, I know which environment this was. So when I go to my prod, because this was the environment which I selected up front, you can see that in this, in the resources in Dynamics 365 apps, this app has been installed. So we have the catalog client, which also will be installed on every United States environment, and also the catalog in Power Platform Manager. So how does the end result look like? So first, for the end users, it looks like that. Yeah, I have a template. This is also another environment. So this is also important to know. I have the catalog management app, let's say, in one environment, but I can provide the templates to every other United States environment. They will also show up in environments of other regions, but you will always get a failed message if you're trying to install that. So how do I add something here? Let's go to my prod where I already prepared a new solution. So yeah, the name of the catalog, which is shown here, are basically these two solutions. Yeah, and now we have a team vacation planner. So you are clicking on the three dots, and then you can publish it to catalog. And now we are coming to the process. So here's you are selecting your catalog. There's the default one. which is pre-existing, and there's the one which I created. So when I'm creating a new catalog, let's say, as I said in the beginning, HR catalogs, templates, or how you like to call them, you can select this one as well. So when I'm selecting it, you have the option to put it as a managed item or a template. Also a very important thing. So what's the difference? Managed item basically means it will import it as a managed solution, and you can straight away work with it, or maybe use this component in other solutions, but you cannot customize them. The second one is template, where you can basically start with it building or have this as a starting ground and build topics on top of that. Then somehow you can also select a primary component, but of course, if you have multiple components and you see multiple here, I will just use unspecified, because at the end it doesn't matter. Next thing, you are giving it some details. These are the details which you will be seeing here. Yeah. Let's put it vacation planner template, so that the people can continue working on that if you want to use it on multiple environments. Then you are giving a description. This is a vacation planner app or template app. You need to give it business, or you don't need to give, because it's optional, but you can give a note here that the approver, which you have pre-selected up front, can see why you are submitting this. So please approve. You can select as an information what kind of Power Platform components it is using, but you only have these 4 options. Also Power Portals is the old name, Power Pages would be now the new name. Let's take Canvas app and Power Automate. Business category, these are the categories which I selected up front. Let's take human resources, and then you can even give a publisher. And as you can see here, IT templates, this is basically the one which is also listed here. I'm picking this one. You can also give it an icon or template images. This is also basically, this is the icon, which would be then have a better picture. You can give some help links, whatever. And then you click on submit. And what happens after this? And now this will take a few seconds, yeah, probably 10 to 30. And what happens on the next page? Let's switch quickly again to the My Prod environment, where the catalog manager has been installed. And here, as an approver, you can use this application. Of course, you can also use it as an admin. And yeah, in the meanwhile, yeah, if this is processed, you would see here an approval request where you can, approve it or reject it. And also use it further to include even validation testing and so on. But this is a bit more complicated in order to do this. But yeah, at the end, you can also see your catalog items here. Let's see if, yeah, it's also been completed. So you can see it here under requests. Yeah, you can click on it and then click on complete approval. And what happens after this? So this has been approved. And if we go to another environment, which is in the United States, I think, yeah, this one, you see it here in the catalog. Yeah, let's load. And here we see the vacation planner template. And then you press on get. And then since I have some Power Automate flows, okay, I just have one Power Automate flow and one environment variable here. You can, while adding this, the template, you can enter the environment variable text here, hello world, click on next. Okay, at some point it should have also asked for the connection, because I added a SharePoint or Outlook connection. But here the installation is in progress. We won't wait until it's done, because it really takes a long, but maybe if I picking this one again, okay, I have it already. But this is also nice to know. if the original creator of this template is updating it, you can basically update it in the in this menu here again. Yeah, we have template and we have managed. Yeah, what's the difference? This corporate red hamburger just doesn't mean, sorry, I don't mean in the food, but I mean the hamburger menu, because let's say you are building a menu with for the end users so that the design looks the same. It will be imported as an unmanaged solution, and if you press on managed, it is a managed solution, because this is the other solution which I created as a catalog item. So summary, it's basically, in my opinion, nothing else than importing a managed or an unmanaged solution, which you have maybe in a SharePoint library where other people can pick it up. Yeah, but it has been done more professionally at the end. Yeah, so with the catalog manager, with the approver and so on. So from an enterprise perspective, or basically from a company perspective, you can really create some assets, some templates, because we have often the issue that apps which are built by citizen developer most likely do look differently. And if you educate your end users to use the templates to have a good starting point to build their app, I mean, you can also add some components in there, yeah, and have a big component library to reuse again. And here it can be a very nice feature for the companies or for enterprises or for yourself. Yeah. That's it from my side. Thanks. And I guess the next one, don't kill me if I'm wrong, it's Bülent.
All right, so thank you very much. Let me share my screen, and hopefully it's visible to you. So today what I want to talk about is about Copilot agents, the new feature which have been released last week. First on Monday, when Satya had revealed what it's all about, and also was a big thing during the Power Platform conference in Vegas last week. And there were also some kind of demos there as well. So unfortunately, I don't have an environment where this works. Otherwise, I would have shown that to you in a demo. But you know, it can come maybe in the next Power Collab in that case. So first of all, let's have a history in this. So how this building conversation AI have been involved. So first of all, it was very hard to do for, let's say, it was only possible for a few of people. So you had a domain with specialized vendors and data science who could just do this. So it was really some kind of a custom solution. Later, it got a little bit easier. So you had and built in-house by professional developers. So you needed the building type pro code to do this. Then a couple of years ago, Power Agent have been introduced, where you had really the low-code capability and could build the bots on your own. But nevertheless, it didn't really fly with Power Agents. It was some kind of complex, you know, building everything on your own and then also check if it's also working, analyzing and so on. So if you put that to clients, then obviously, you know, there's still much of effort just to do. So, and then Copilotstudio has been revealed last year and got also huge love during the MS build, and also had got a new UI and a lot of new features like knowledge sources there. And they have just combined that together with generative AI. So that means that you have much more less work to do and hope that generative AI just delivers the answer if a user just types in any kind of questions. So now we're just releasing now more or less a new version of that, which Microsoft rebrands as Copilot agents. And I will show you what is special about that. So you see there are different types of things that can be asked. So it can be some kind of an IT help desk agent, and then you just ask simple questions like, how can I connect to the corporate network, for example? But these are simple. It can also get more and more complex. That means it can also ask, you know, just that the agent is identifying, you know, some kind of leads and review them for you, for example, and do more or less work on its own, so that you don't, you know, ask that kind of question. So it just becoming more and more a digital assistant, like we expect that, with that agentification. Now, Microsoft has just released 2 new capabilities, which makes it really, really interesting. The first one is that you can now publish it directly into Microsoft 365 Copilot. So that means for you, you are staying more or less in the same environment where you're just working. So you don't need to go additionally to Copilot Studio, build the bot there, publish from there, come back, etc., etc. So we see that in different areas of Microsoft where they, using that approach. For example, in Copilot for Sales, where you're also working as a sales representative in Outlook or in Teams, and you're not going really into the Dynamics application. So the Dynamics application comes more or less to you. So this is more or less the same approach. And also with the new Copilot experience, how to build this, how it's easy. The Microsoft has also revealed something which is just calling now Copilot Business Chat or BizChat. That was also new. And now on the following screens, you will see a little bit more. I'm sorry for that you see here on top some kind of, subtitles, which was in the video, which I couldn't erase. But hopefully then we can also see that in a live demo, then it's easier. So the idea is that you now in your BizChat, and in your BizChat, there is already your field service agent in that example awaiting you. And you can just ask right away the question, and it just answers and gives you the answers. You can question and you get the answers right back here, how you just today see that from the Copilots nowadays. So what is interesting in that approach is, first of all, that you have a field service agent not in the Dynamics application, but outside of that in BizChat. And now what we want to do is we want now to create an Copilot agent here. So you see on the right side that option, what you can see, you have your deployed Copilot agents here, but you can also create your own Copilot agent in that case. So once you just click on this, then this pops up. This is the only screenshot without subtitles which I can provide you. So at least I managed to find at least one. And you see already something which you have seen in some areas, like, for example, Power Pages as well. So if you want to create with Copilot, for example, lists in Power Pages, you also have that kind of experience. On the left side, you have more or less where you describe with natural language what you want. On the right side, then you see a preview of how it's been created. So in that case, you have more or less a chat with your Copilot. And then just ask his questions right away. And based on that, the right side, the preview will then be created. Now, what's also interesting, this is the part with describing. The part with configuring is the interesting part. And if you're familiar with Copilot Studio, then you will see these kinds of things which you're familiar with. So that means you have the knowledge, which you can just add. That can be a SharePoint. This can be also other sources like Dataverse or whatever else is available, or public website. But it can also add you from your organization, what is just available. So in that case. And once you just have did this in the case, and you click then on the create button here on the top, then it just deploys you successfully an agent, and then it's ready. You can just use it. So there's no need you have to go to Copilot Studio and develop from there, get distracted. So if someone from the business has an idea how he wants his Copilot working, you can just save a lot of time and just create it from there. And Microsoft promises that it works quite well and easy. I hope as well, but we will see once we just try it out in our trial environments. So in that case, that's all what I can tell you about Copilot Agent so far. And I hand over then, in that case, to you, Sweta.
Thanks a lot, Violent. So let me quickly share my screen, and it's time for another generative AI feature. Today, I'm going to talk about generative AI search in Power Pages, a very interesting feature and somewhat similar to Copilot in Power Pages that we discussed a couple of videos back. This is how it actually looks like. I don't have a working demo for you for today, but I'm pretty sure I'll have it in our next video. But as you can see, in the background, we have a Power Pages website, and this is the search bar. And you can see the text is something that is typed in like a natural language. You're just querying how to get vehicle loan in Woodgrove Bank. And then below that, you can see a summarized result, um, also mentioning the bullet points. And then below that, you have the references. So you can click over to that and then navigate to the respective page. So this is similar to how a Copilot in Power Pages works, just that here it's in the form of searches. And also in the corner, you have a mark saying that, yeah, it's an AI generated content, so it can be incorrect, and you can give your feedback here. So this is how this feature looks like. It's really interesting. And let me move on to the further details. So this feature is currently in preview. It's in preview since 15th May 2024, but the GA date is not yet published. We hope it gets published soon. Currently, it's available only for English sites, and it's not available in government community cloud, GCC High, and Department of Defense regions. Here, it's not available. It's available everywhere else. And it is only available for Power Pages with versions either equal to or higher than 9.6.3.41. So these are the prerequisites. And then coming to the details of the features. So it is a semantic search that this particular search provides you. It's not like the traditional keyword search. So the objective is to provide most contextualized, most relevant information to the user when he's trying to search for something, giving them a good user experience. And when you're actually searching using this GenAI search, the whole website becomes your searchable domain. And in addition to that, you can also query on the Dataverse tables. And that's what my third point says. But there is a slight catch over here. Not all the Dataverse tables are available. Only those Dataverse tables which have fields which are multi-line text. Only those fields it can query, and not all. So we don't have that available yet. And then the Azure OpenAI aggregates index content for providing you a summarized response. You also have the control over how the response would look like. So you can choose the font of the summarized response, the references, you can customize that using the content snippet. And the most important part is that this search result will align with the user's permissions. So the security model of your Power Pages is not violated with this GenAI search. And of course, in the end, it's a GenAI response, so it might be inaccurate. So you need to test it before you finally release it to your users for, maybe a pilot or gathering their feedback. So listing down a few use cases, because I have come across this requirement across so many customers I've worked with, and having this kind of GenAI search, which is searching over your entire website, can save you a lot of training time as well as cost. Drives self-service, boosts efficiency and productivity, also drives user engagement because you can search more and more, improved user experience and content utilization and knowledge sharing. So these are some of the use cases, and here I've quickly mentioned how we can enable it. Basically, this is a snapshot of Power Pages Design Studio, and you have to basically go in Setup. Under the last section of Copilot, you have an option for site search marked as preview, and then you have two types of searches available, right? You can enable a keyword search for your website. That's also available, and the last one is the GenAI search. So that's what we were talking about. And you just have to enable it. And then below that, you have a card saying you can refine your data. So basically using this, you can define which Dataverse tables you want this search to query on and which fields. That's what you can define over here. So we will see a working demo in the next video. But then this is all I have for you today. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Ambesh.
Thank you so much, Shweta, for the insightful thing. And I would probably continue where Blue went left from the same topic. So let me just share my screen.
Copilot agents can supercharge every business process and build capacity for every individual and team, scaling your impact like never before. Now, with Agent Builder and BizChat, we're bringing the power of agents to you, right in the flow of your work. And we made them incredibly easy to create. Say you want to build an agent for field service technicians, and you want this agent to have access to all your product knowledge and be able to give you step-by-step instructions in real time. You open Agent Builder and describe that you want it to be able to reason over your product catalog and repair tickets. It's built in seconds and ready to use. You can edit and configure it, expand its knowledge base by tapping into resources like SharePoint sites or other IT-approved data sources. You can even update its name or image to align with your company's branding. You can now test the agent or hit create and you're done. And of course, the agent respects your organization's Microsoft 365 and SharePoint security permissions. Now your Copilot agent is ready in BizChat and you can share it with your team.
Yeah, I think the same screenshots what Fluent just shown in the beautiful slides. So in short, like if I just need to conclude it, like from the Copilot agent perspective, like for me, the future of the Microsoft 365 Copilot's agents look really promising. With the continuation of the advancement in the AI and the machine learning, we see how quickly they are growing it. And as these technology evolve, like Copilot agents are expected to become even more intelligent and capable. They can provide and offer more sophisticated solutions to complex business challenges. And not only this, but it also, the business that leverage these agents will be well positioned to stay ahead of the competitions and drive innovations in their respective industries. And I'm really hopeful about the success of this product. It's really in the beginning. It has been just announced, maybe not even a week ago. Um, I would be finger crossed, and I would be really expecting a lot of the use cases around there. And I wish that this product will actually make a presence in the industry, in to the customers and everywhere. And on that note, thank you again, everyone, to be in the call, to provide your valuable time, to sharing your experience, your knowledge, your lesson learning to the audience. And from the audience perspective, it would be really great. And really, we are really thankful if you can just subscribe to channels, share the videos with your colleagues. And if you want to join us, you can also approach any one of us via LinkedIn. And yeah, you can come here and just share your knowledge. And till that time, everyone's thank you so much and have a great time. Bye.